Okay, I didn't have an intro queued up this week. I couldn't find anything just off the cuff. So I figured since Hasbro was kind enough to send along this loosely packed box, I'd open that up on the weekly, just to give people an idea of what's in the box. What's in the box? But first, in accordance with FTC guidelines, please be sure to clearly and conspicuously disclose that Hasbro sent you the products for free on any channels where you share the content. So, there you go. I don't know what this is. It's a foldy thing with G.I.Joe on it. It's some kind of stage, stand, something. It looks like Trick or Treat Studios is gonna have a deluxe Cobra Commander helmet. There's this, has this on bottom, and oh, it's 3 3/4 inch O-ring stuff. Maybe I'll have to give this away because it's not my scale. Oh, Snake Eyes sword from G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes. I got morning wood. I've said that joke so many times that I can't even remember the real name of the sword. So for forevermore, for me, this is morning wood. It's got a curve to it, but that's not bad. It could hang on the wall. I have the Python Patrol Cobra Viper. Is that dark? Oh, there you go. Right there. It looks like these are shipping out, not just in free boxes, but hopefully soon from Target and wherever. You're not going anywhere. There's the Walmart exclusive Retro Baroness. Out of the 4 characters that they revealed for this wave, Baroness was probably the lowest on my want list, but at the same time, I'm good getting this redeco. I wish they hadn't have packaged her without the glasses on. They show that it's removable, but you take them out and she has the grooves in her face. So they're not really removable, are they? And look at the size of this card. It always surprises me because, back when I was a kid, they were smaller. But I was smaller. But now I'm bigger. And now these are bigger. I don't know where I'm going with that. But the big draw for me in this box is Crocmaster and Fiona. This is the biggie. This is the one I want to crack into. Not just for Crocmaster, but look at that Croc. Look at that Fiona. What the hell? Crocmaster has 2 crocodiles on the back. Do I need 2 of these? Oh, and this card announces another live stream for June 29th. That's at the end of the month. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and this is the part of the show where I go, there wasn't a lot to talk about last night when I went to bed, but when I woke up today, there was more stuff to talk about. So it's not going to be a very short show, but it's not going to be a very long show. I gotta work on intro stuff. The fact of the matter is, there's always something to talk about, and it doesn't matter whether it's a little or a lot. We're always going to find a way to talk about the toys. Because that's my favorite thing to do. I got nothing else. Let's go back to last week's NECA exclusive Dungeons & Dragons 4-inch Lost Wave. Again, not a scale we usually talk about on this channel. We usually stick with 6-inch and somewhere around in that realm. You get shorter than that, I have no idea what's going on. But this is cool for people who are into the vintage line, want to add to that, or the collection continues. So why do I bring it up again? I missed something, which is not surprising whatsoever. I think I was recording right before they went up for order on the NECA site, so I didn't see the full photo spread. There, they showed the card back, and there's a little tidbit, little morsel for the 7-inch Dungeons & Dragons line. Now, we've been waiting patiently for a while for Warduke and Grimsword in that larger scale. Like good little collectors. And just recently, we saw new pretty promotional pictures of those, so they should be right around the corner. The card back for that 4-inch Lost Wave line gives us a hint of the future of the 7-inch line with Strongheart and Zarek. NECA is leaning hard into the bad guys here, and why wouldn't they? They always have the better designs. And, well, okay, I can't say better. There's iconic looks, but most lines, most properties, when you look at the bad guys, that's when they get crazy with the blades and the extra things and the demonic and evil. But more than that, it's good to get a little info. Some people thought, well, is it just gonna be Warduke and Grimsword? Nope. There's going to be more. We're going to get a nice looking NECA Knight, and I've talked several times about not being into the original Dungeons & Dragons line, but for some reason, Zarek floated around my toy boxes for a while. Warduke is an amazing design. Grimsword grabbed me, but it's Zarek. Because of the nostalgia tug, that really makes me want to go, maybe I am collecting Dungeons & Dragons. Hopefully we'll hear more about those very, very soon. Also, about a week ago, McFarlane Toys revealed their DC Multiverse Build-A-Starro Wave Crime Syndicate Superwoman. This week, it went up for pre-order, so you know what that means. There's more pictures. And she looks good. Fairly clean, arguably plain, but that's the design from the comics. And say what you will about McFarlane proportions, at least it's consistent, and when you get them all together, well, okay, the long legs, the smaller heads, yeah, but that's a design choice. It's not like he's straying away from that in a lot of cases. They all look good together. But I'll say it, I think it's the hunks of Starro here that are the big draw. Todd didn't stop there. With the debut of the Black Adam movie trailer, he showed off the DC Multiverse figure. And oh wow. Again, say what you will, but looking at this picture, it's almost like, hey, did The Rock pose for this? And yeah, I get it. The mood lighting, the professional framing, the final product on the pegs will be more toy-like. But can we appreciate what we have in front of us right now at this exact moment? That's a good-looking toy picture. But if you're not into Black Adam and you're into Fortnite, considering the size of the head sculpts on a lot of the DC Multiverse stuff, could this Dwayne Johnson head work on the Hasbro Fortnite The Foundation figure? Because I've seen a lot of Rock figures, mostly wrestling, but still, there's been a lot of Rock figures. This looks like one of the better ones. If you are into Black Adam, but this is too plain for you, there's also a hooded side-eye version. You know, add a little dynamic look to it. I'm pretty sure these are separate releases, but I'm not sure which one is the harder to get. There's got to be one that's exclusive somewhere, like a gold label or something. Or maybe they're just both easy to get. Who knows? No information. This is all we got. 2 pictures. For those of you asking for different sculpts in McFarlane's Warhammer 40K line, though, oh, you're in luck because just this morning, this popped up. These are characters from the upcoming Warhammer Dark Tide game. Kinda generic. Dudes in armor, but man, that big blunt force trauma-inducing guy, that's going to be awesome on the shelf, no matter where you stick them. And I'll bet you $100 that pre-orders are going to be right around the corner, if not next week. Okay, don't take that bet. It's going to be in the near future. Let's expand the parameters there, because I don't want to lose $100 to each and every one of you. It's been a bit since we talked about Bandai's SH Figuarts Tech-On Avengers, but this week, out of the blue, there was a little symbiote tease. Symbiote. That doesn't really work. It's symbiote related. According to Google, at some point in the Tech-On Avengers comic book series, Wolverine's armor is taken over by Venom. I'm guessing because of the silhouette that this is just a redeco of the SH Figuarts Tech-On Avengers Wolverine. But that's not a bad thing, especially if it's accurate. And in the comics, he's got kind of a Venom look, but armored, which is the whole point of the series, really. Hey, it's all these characters, they lost their powers, they need to be armored up with Stark Tech. And again, this is just one of those teases, not a lot of info. I'm sure something is in the pipeline. Something's coming. I'm not going to make any bets, but soon. Boss Fight unveiled their Saurozoic Warriors a couple of months back, but now it is time to release the beasts. Or at least put up some pre-orders so these beasts can be unleashed at some point in the future. And the timing's perfect. It's dinosaur season, right? And it's been a while since we've seen some brightly colored, kind of cartoony humanoid dinosaurs pass across our screens. These are exactly that. In fact, when I look at these, and I may have talked about this back at the reveals, but I look at these and there's a nostalgia factor, even though this isn't an old line. This is a brand new line. These would not look out of place on the pegs at KB's or Toys R Us. Right there beside some Power of the Force 2 figures, and below those Marvel Deluxe 10-inch figures that used to just sit on the top rack at KB's all the time. Some later Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some DC Total Justice down under. Saurozoic Warriors. Boom, right there in the middle. There's a vintage feel to them. Like, I'm trying to remember if I had these as a kid, but there's no way I did, because they didn't exist back then. They exist now. Basically, fun. Remember fun? Oh, I do. I still have a lot of fun, but we could never recapture that fun we had as a kid, but damn it if we don't keep on trying. There's 4 options here with the Ceratopsian Guard and Triax Skiver. looking like a good face-off because, according to the storyline, Triax kind of goes off and does his own thing. But hunting him down is Range Brachion and Mar-Osis, who make up the long and the short of it. Did I butcher those names? Doesn't matter. Like, that's part of the fun. Remember back in the day when we'd see the names on the card backs that we had never heard out loud and just went, Ninum? From the sound of it, these hover around the 6-inch tall range, depending on the body type, but looking at them, they're all just hefty chunks of plastic. $30 a piece, no hard info on release, but pre-order them, forget about them, they show up, fun. But if your dinosaur humanoid preferences skew more to the realistic side, you're in luck too. 5K Toys on Instagram have shown initial pictures for the Paleontological Battleground 6-inch Dino. Is that right? Paleontological. Fun! Not a lot of info on the company producing these, who's doing the sculpting, how it's being produced, but if you've dealt with 5K Toys before, you know that this is their thing. This third-party, kind of off-the-wall, lesser-known company product. As for the figure itself, it looks like you have the option for either a mostly naked humanoid dinosaur person, or there's a lot of armor overlay, so you could make a prehistoric barbarian humanoid dinosaur person. Again, I can't speak to the quality or the schedule or if this will even see the light of day. I'm just showing you the cool pictures that 5K Toys showed on their Instagram. So if you want more info or want to see more, head over there. The link is in the description. You know, like the Fury Toys Samurai Assassin Spring. No previous experience with this company, who just so happens to change their name every time they come out with a new release, but I know a lot of us are jumping at the chance to own this good-looking piece of definitely not TMNT plastic. Did I say TMNT? Nope, definitely not. This is Samurai Turtle Spring. Difference here, though, we're getting regular updates throughout the process. The prototypes, the videos of movement, of poses, the plastic test shot from the factory paint job. If that paint makes it to the final product, that's gonna look good. But the reason this is coming back around is because if you missed out on the first round of pre-orders, 5K Toys has put up another round, and the $5 is just a deposit. Look at the actual description, it gives you the price. But not only that, they also announced that the Wave 2 pre-orders should be right around the corner, which means we're one step closer to what looks like the best character in this totally original, not IP infringing line of action figures. That one we already knew about, though. We've seen pictures of the not Donatello. The new surprise announcement is that they're also working on some kind of rodent that just so happens to be compatible with assassin turtles. Are you getting sick of me just beating around the bush? Not even... You know how it is. This may be a shock to some, but I don't know a lot about Valiant Comics. So when Threezero posted up this teaser, I had to rely on comments. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. But after some gentle nudges, I remembered Exo-Man of War and Bloodshot, but I had to do a little research on Ninjak. Thankfully, the mystery didn't last long because they quickly followed that up with full-on solicitation pictures of the FigZero-S Bloodshot. And that's impressive. Well, okay. Much like the Saurozoic Warriors, where there's a nostalgia feel to it because of the design and the colors and everything, this almost harkens back to that grim and gritty era just because of some of the articulation choices here. That ugly cut across here, it makes you think, older school action figures back in the day when they weren't as concerned about the silhouette. Same thing with the hips, kinda. A bit outdated feeling, but again, it fits into the characterization, the feel, the Valiant Comics from back in the day. Because I definitely have no doubts about Threezero articulating the hell out of an action figure. I feel like this was an actual conscious choice on their part because of the property. Same for those crosshatches. That's just one of those things that if they hadn't put it on there, I would have never missed it, but now that I've seen it on there, I can't see it without it because it fits the style. It's like a character action figure just kind of frozen in amber. There's a nostalgia feel to it, but it's a new figure, you know? One thing I always do worry about when it comes to Threezero is their scale. Some of the DLX Iron Mans, they called 1/12 scale, but it's larger. Here, they just did away with all that and said, this is going to be 6 inches tall. So it should integrate perfectly into any of the other lines you collect. After all that, which aren't really big worries after I look at it for a minute and think, oh, well, okay, that does work. I do have to gripe about the cloth shirt. It's kind of big, it's kind of thick. It's a harsh contrast to the sculpted bagginess of the pants, but it's an option. I don't see myself ever using it, but it's there just in case. As I'm recording this, it hasn't actually went up for pre-order. There's no price listed yet, but judging by the rest of the FigZero S on the Threezero site, which I've never bought, but looking at those solicitations, this should be around $50 to $70. Super 7 has shipped out their Transformers Ultimates Wave 1, so you know what that means. Time to reveal a new wave. For Wave 4, we're not seeing any of the deep dives we saw with Waves 1 through 3. I mean, it had big names, but there was also Bonsaitron and Alligatorcon, or Tarn, you know? Characters we don't usually expect in a Transformers line right off the bat. But I'm also down for knocking out some of the big names, too. I didn't get Wave 1 Starscream. Don't get me wrong, it looks cool with the glittery plastic and the ghostliness, but I want just straight up Transformers. In their cartoon looks, none of the kibble of transformation, none of that stuff. I was waiting for this. This is the Starscream I wanted. It's mostly re-release of the Ghost version, but it also comes with Megatron in blaster form, the bigger blaster, some kind of hook pinchy thing. And I ain't gonna lie, I like Corpse Optimus way more than I thought I would. Partly because they did the extra work of making the appropriate parts for when he was laying on the table. The broken, jagged antenna, the slash out of his abdomen, and they updated the elbows from Wave 1, which is the only one I have in hand at the moment. I like the look because it's cartoony, but those elbows, ooh, they just go boop that far. Here it looks like they made the full-on cut down into the forearm to extend that range. So this dead Optimus will be better articulated than the action Optimus we got in Wave 1. Can we get some kind of upgrade arms or something with another character in the future? But the biggie here is Soundwave. It's Soundwave with a tape deck version of himself, a cassette that doesn't actually go with that tape deck, it probably goes in the chest of the figure. The cartoon accurate head, the vintage toy version, and then the Marvel Comics look that I'm not really familiar with, but hey, it's an option. Cartoon accurate Soundwave. They had me at... I didn't even need to get farther than that. I heard, oh, it's Soundwave? Gimme. And that's it for Wave 4. 3 figures, which is cutting down on the wave size. So between that and the bigger names and the reuse... Well, don't get me wrong, Soundwave's a brand new sculpt. Optimus has some changes, but there is some reuse here. Is this just kind of a, I don't know, a filler wave? I hate to say filler wave because, you know, Soundwave. Maybe a safe breather wave. Let's call it that. And yeah, Transformers that don't transform. The world revolves around me. Everything should be catered to my own personal wants and needs, even though there's several transforming Transformers lines out there, not to mention third parties out the ass. But, oh, how dare this non-transforming Transformers line exist. Get it off your chest. Go ahead. I'll wait. Nah, no I won't. Stop. Get your fingers away from the keyboard. $55 a piece, scheduled for next year. Okay, I did a rundown of this week's Hasbro G.I.Joe fan stream earlier in the week. Well, in fact, that day. But this is the weekly, baby. You know we gotta touch on it again. First off, stuff is gonna start shipping. They made sure to address that they know that it's been more than several months since pre-orders on things have went up and not a lot have shipped out. That should hopefully change soon. Second, there were 2 more character announcements, not pipeline reveals where they just show the initial digital render and say more to come. This is just throwing 2 names out there and saying these will appear in the line in the future. This is just one step above going, hey, we're gonna make more G.I. Joes. There you go. This week they tossed out Copperhead and Torpedo, and I'm sure we'll see more on that soon. Then there was the meat and potatoes of actual pipeline reveals. Waves will now be moving to 5 figures instead of 3, which means more figures for the shelf, but also means more repaints and reuse, which we have seen in this line, but it's probably going to be a little bit more prominent to fill out those 5-figure waves. But it's G.I. Joe, it's all about wacky army building and troopers, so there's nothing wrong with that. Repainted Bats and Marauders Barbecue are no surprise. They have their roots in the original line. Again, could be seen as filler, but also falls into the good if you want it, pass if you don't category. Same goes for Outback. Sure, there's the Tiger Force version that's been up for pre-order for a while now, orange shirt, gray hair, but how many people are going to pass on the traditional look? For brand spanking new characters though, there is Falcon and CoverGirl. Could be called plain, but especially in Falcon's case, I think that nails the personality. I saw a lot of comments of wanting a blonde version for CoverGirl, but we haven't seen the accessories here. Hasbro has already proven that they aren't scared of making swappable parts for hair pieces. Maybe she'll come with options there. Or if not, is there any really big worry that they won't do a redeco of CoverGirl down the line somewhere? Come on now. It's just too easy breezy to pull off. CoverGirl. They showed more of Sergeant Slaughter, which looks more and more fantastic the more I see of it. It comes with an action figure of itself, which itself is an action figure. That makes me think, oh, I got to track down the real Sergeant Slaughter at a show and take a picture of him holding this figure, holding its figure, like slaughter, slaughter, slaughter. In my rundown, I commented on the odd wording they used with this, that it would release in time with San Diego Comic-Con. So I wondered, is this an exclusive? Is it just at the con? What's going on here? But a lot of people pointed out that in the chat of the fan stream, the moderator made sure to point out that this is not an SDCC exclusive. I would have never known that because I do not keep the chat open because I value my sanity and my eyeballs. The previously announced redeco of Snake Eyes and Timber also went up for pre-order with its mix of commando and ninja and winter-style wolf fur. Oh, and weapons. Lots of weapons. Sure, they're mostly reissue, but getting more weapons in a G.I. Joe line, not complaining. To finish off the Hasbro fan stream, a tease of a classified series HasLab. To further that hint, I missed that there was a sound effect played over the graphic. Tank sounds? His tank? That seems like the most iconic vehicle that fits within the parameters of a HasLab when it comes to engineering and size and price. Maybe it's something else, but I think good money, and most people's guess is his tank. So I guess we'll find out soon. And that is probably not everything for this week, but if I miss something, we'll swing back around next week. If you're interested in seeing these pictures up close without me all, hey, fun. I'll be posting all of that along with links to pre-orders, more information on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. And you know what? I'm gonna admit, last week I kind of had, oh man, a low moment. I couldn't help it. I was at Star Wars Celebration and everybody there is there for one specific reason, you know? So there was an air of positivity. Everyone I talked to was just like, hey, I love this stuff. But to go from all that back home to just some of the overwhelmingly negative things of Twitter and Facebook, I got caught up in it. And I started getting kind of, well, what do I do? But I dug myself out because I remembered at a base level, it's about the toys. It's about the action figures. It's about the feeling I get when I open something up, whether it's nostalgia because it's a representation of something from when I was a kid, or the engineering aspect, the paint, the skull. There's so many factors at play that take me away from the real world for a moment. And that's why I collect. That's why I buy all this stuff. Do bring those feelings of fun and joy and everything else. It may sound immature, but give me a break. It's toys. I opened some boxes and I started feeling the love again. So right now in the comment section, let me know why you collect. Is it because of all those factors? Is it one certain thing? Is it because of the misery? Maybe you like to critique something to the point of hating it. And hey, that's your thing. Cool. And that's what we have to remember, that we have to do what makes us happy. Maybe typing it out It gives us a better understanding. Just like when I start just, it helps me focus. It helps me, understand why I do this. And sometimes we just need a reminder. It's easy to go, man, I have so many pre-orders and there's so much stuff and piles and I can't display this and, oh, why am I doing this? It's good to slow down every now and then and go, oh yeah. But if you enjoyed this Fwoosh Weekly, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I will always be right here, catching you on the Fwoosh. That sounds weird, like you're not supposed to be on the Fwoosh. And to finish this off, there were 2 more figures in here. There was the new Storm Shadow and Spirit, but I've already sent those off to, well, actually, to the guy that helped sculpt parts of those 2 figures. I always thought, well, if you work on the line, you get those figures, you get free toys all day. Apparently, that's not true. I mean, it's work. It's a job. I guess that could be a perk. And I'm sure it happens in some instances, but more often than not, when I hear from guys in the industry, it's like, well, we're hunting down those figures too. We're waiting also. So most of them are in the same boat we are.